What up, though? Welcome to the Tinman Podcast. As always, a blessing to be here today. We got a good friend of ours, Mr. Lil One. This podcast is sponsored by Iron Fuel. Way to get to the topics, talk about life, struggles, what he's doing today, how he got here today. And I'm just so honored to introduce our friend, Mr. Lil One. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey man, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, my bro.
Man. Tell me something funny this week that happened to you or got you mad or just you had to get
Funny or
grounded.
mad?
Lo que quieras, viejo, lo que quieras. Because I get mad, so it's, for me, something funny, I try and laugh about it.
You know what, man? I think the meaning of life is just to be playful and be creative. So I have a lot of funny moments. You know, I'm like a big kid, especially like around my kids and at home. I'm like a big kid. You know, I'll FaceTime my daughter all the time, and I'll do like the opposite of what you would expect. I'll put on like a Halloween mask in broad daylight, like on a regular day. And she'll be like, "What are you doing? Get off my phone," and stuff like that, you know. And as far as angry, I really don't get angry, bro.
Dude, that's good.
You know, I believe that people have a big misconception that death is the opposite of life, but death is just the opposite of birth, not life. You're supposed to live in between.
I never thought about it.
Yeah, so people usually connect death and life. Death is the opposite of birth.
Yes.
And in between, you're supposed to live and not exist. You know, so we've all been through, you know, a lot of stuff in our life, especially things that are supposed to teach us how to live and not exist and be able to know the difference, like loneliness and solitude. You know what I'm saying? Like what darkness does to be able to appreciate light, you know, that type of stuff. So for me, I'm very grateful for every moment in my life. If you ask me at any time, what is the greatest moment of my life, I'm always going to tell you right now.
Let me ask you this. How long did it take you to find that balance and that peace? Because obviously you're centered.
Right.
And it had to take some work.
It took a lot of work. You know, it was more the misconception of time.
Yes, sir.
Because time doesn't change you. You change you. Right? So when you're able to like really grasp that and like understand that, you really understand that time is not really real. Right?
Yeah.
It's you being able to nurture yourself and nourish yourself to be able to appreciate the beauty of evolution. So when you have like these psychological trickeries playing games on you that you play on yourself, you know, you have these, because we record data, we register data when we're growing up.
Yeah.
So we have attachments, we have narratives, we're angry, we have resentment. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? That shouldn't have happened. That person hasn't apologized to me. I'm waiting for an apology. Why this? Then you're really creating a barrier in between being present, right?
Yes.
So if you really look at it like that, you're stuck in a psychological prison with the door wide open. And you usually stay there because you're consumed in the past or you consumed in the future and you abandon the present. So I always do my best to stay present. So when I was able to understand that, I was able to dissolve like attachments and narratives and expectations and entitlement. Because once you do that, then you're just free.
Yeah.
And you don't live like that no more. You don't wake up like, you know, you have 70,000 thoughts in your brain.
Yes, sir.
And if you wake up the next day and the same thoughts that you had yesterday, you're having them today, then there's no growth. That's just a ruminated state of darkness. And then we all have stories attached to our emotions.
Big time.
Big time. Big time.
And you just, they're like glue.
They're like glue, and they're like on rewind.
Yeah.
But when I was able to dissolve that, is when I was able to finally live. So it took time, a lot of books, sobriety, you know, training, meditating, sauna, walking, appreciating, humility, you know, just being grateful and being able to be accountable and being able to see what your part was in whatever dynamic you find yourself in. You know, when you're able to do that, then you're able to really face yourself, unmasked, no filters, and just be okay with the authentic you.
Como Dios te
Como
puso.
Dios te hizo.
Yeah.
You know, and be okay with that.
Yes, sir.
Instead of always trying to find, like, what mask can I put on so I can be valued here? Or how do I need to act so I can be appreciated here? or what do I need to act like so these people can like me? When you can just be yourself and you like you.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. You got to remember, like, when we have all these conspired thoughts, we subconsciously and unconsciously, in a sense, consciously, lowered our standards. And we start doing things that we wouldn't typically do for all the wrong reasons.
Our ethics just like limbs, they just fall apart.
For sure. So it did take some time. And I always refer to it like you almost have to become like an emotional archaeologist. You know what I'm saying?
Explain that.
So you have to like dig deep emotionally and get to the root of what you are and eliminate the branches. So when you dig, what's behind you? The path up, right?
Yeah.
So when you dig and you find the root and you nourish the root, there's your path to elevate. So you got to excavate to elevate.
Oof. That's powerful.
And that's how it happened for me. But there was a lot of despair. There was a lot of despair. There was a lot of pain. There was a lot of selfishness. There was a lot of egotistical energy, a lot of entitlement, a lot of that stuff, a lot of the opposite of what life is all about.
And it's crazy, and I feel it because I feel like I'm a man of energy,
Right.
as you.
Yeah.
And you can feel it.
Yeah.
Se siente luego cuando hablas con alguien, luego.
1 million%.
And you seem so there.
Right.
Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Ahorita llego.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's the worry, the attachments you were speaking of, they're not there. They're not a backpack no more.
No, bro. No. And that's what I would encourage anybody that's watching this, to really enter, even from a place of uncertainty comes your greatest growth, to develop a relationship with your growth instead of developing a relationship with things that don't serve you. Imagine, dog, just think of how much energy at one point in our life we gave to things that were dynamite. Now, if I'm playing with dynamite, is it the dynamite's fault or is it my fault?
Your fault.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like,
damn, that's deep. That's powerful.
Well, it's true, bro. Like, when people say things like, oh, you're too deep. I don't, you got to the average person, right, in the traditional sense, when they hear us talk about these conversations, it's deep to them.
Yeah.
But it's deep to them because they're living in a very shallow energy. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're not in a good place, the things that are meaningful are meaningless.
Yeah.
And the things that are meaningless are meaningful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
People will get on the plane, save money for a year, get a passport and go to Dubai and take a picture in front of a car that's not theirs and say, I'm in Dubai chilling, and come back with nothing just to take a picture and make social media believe that you are who you are not.
It's so disgusting.
It is, bro.
And
it's sad.
Yeah, it is.
It's
because
sad.
It takes away from the culture, it takes away from the person, and it makes the next generation believe that it's okay to live in this world that does not exist. They disappear.
I think you said something very important. I always talk about the power of effective systemic transformational change.
Yeah.
When we think of our descendants and we think about 300-400 years from now, and they look back, we're the ancestors.
Yeah.
What are they going to hear when they press play? The objective should always be to move in a way where you plant a tree to give shade to people that you'll never meet. If you do that, the rest takes care of itself, because the traditional climate right now, it's contaminated, bro.
There's no legacy.
There's no legacy.
There's no legacy behind
bro,
it.
All there is fallacy, conspired thoughts, validation, meaningless energy. And it's having an effect on our descendants, on society, on our children, on their beliefs, on the way they move, on what they believe is important. You know, no one knows how to hunt. No one knows how to plant vegetables. You know, what happens if Walmart and Ralph's and all that goes out?
Hey, DoorDash is not answering my phone calls.
Yeah, right.
DoorDash, where's DoorDash at?
Right.
Se van a paniquear.
Yeah, bro. You know, and I think like just being able to live without phones.
Yeah.
Being able to be more dependent on the miracle that we are. You know, we can't add more time to our life, but we can definitely add more life to our time.
That's so true, and I feel like we're taking away from the value of life.
We are.
By far, man.
We are. That's why these conversations are important. That's why these are very, very important. Even if one person watches it.
Yes.
It's important. As long as the person watching has respect for life, honor for life, then that means there's going to be no problem with them implementing what they are witnessing. If you implement, you can experience. And if you can experience, then you can project.
All day. All day. It's contagious like anything. Yeah. You can be contagious with bad thoughts, or you can be contagious with good thoughts.
1,000,000%.
Which one do you choose?
Yeah, and you gotta remember like the things that are in front of us that we never think about. If we go outside right now and we drive, when you see a cloud, you don't ever think that a cloud needs a planet to be a cloud. It needs an atmosphere to be a cloud.
Yeah.
It needs heat to be a cloud. You know?
Yes.
So we're the observer perceiving the cloud.
Yeah.
But no one ever goes that far. Oh, a cloud. You forget that we're living in this miraculous planet that's just floating in the middle of the galaxy.
Se llenan de agua.
And
it just goes in a circular motion.
Yeah, bro. It's like a tree. It's like a piece of paper.
Yeah.
When you can't give a piece of paper a time or a place of birth because it had already manifested in the form of a tree. Without the sun, without the rain, without the clouds, there's no tree. So every time that we touch a piece of paper, we're actually touching the sun, the rain, and the clouds.
They all had formed from one thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no one ever goes that far. There's somebody, bro, that existed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago that were related to us. DNA.
Amen.
Walking around.
Yes.
And that will continue. So to be mindful of navigating your life with meaning is powerful enough to have an impact in the future.
Because if somebody picks up that tool, they're going to have it already. It's an arsenal, right? Yeah. They can use that as a weapon for good.
Of course. And not only that, but also by action.
Yeah.
You know, we can't tell our kids what to do. We have to show them. You know, you can't get advice from somebody that displays the opposite qualities in their personal life.
I used to be that bad, right? Until I learned. You know, I used to have a bad habit of, well, do this, do that. And I'm like, man, I'm over here demanding, trying to dictate a program with my kids that I was not even following.
Right.
But
you're accountable for that.
Oh, yes, by
far. But look at you. You have the courage to say that.
Yes.
Same with me. Oh, I'm going to stop drinking for my kids. I need to stop drinking for me.
Yeah.
First.
Yes.
If I'm the best me, then they get the best me.
Yes.
If I'm just doing it for them, then there's no me. I can't operate from me.
Did you ever have an addiction problem? Did you ever go through that dark tunnel?
Just alcohol.
How was that? Was that hard for you?
Alcohol was it was the devil for me. It was the devil in liquid form for me. I had a very dark, destructive relationship with alcohol. The only time that I wouldn't drink was when I would sleep.
That's bad.
That's horrible. You know, and again, you're picking up all this data. You know, you think that you're different than everybody because you have some fame in the streets.
Yeah.
You think you're bigger than what you really are, because who we are and who we think we are two different things.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, you're young. You don't have emotional intelligence. You don't have financial intelligence. You have ego. You have resentment. You have entitlement. My mom died really young. You know, she was abandoned when she was young. So we don't have no cousins, no uncles, no aunts, no grandparents. It was just me and my siblings. So by the time that she died, I was 15.
Yeah.
So my two brothers, their dad picked them up, and my two younger, their dad picked them up. So we didn't see each other for a while. So you grow up with this anger because you think, why this? My mom was a good lady, a good this and that. There's 3-year-olds with leukemia right now. There's someone that just crashed, living the perfect life as in college.
Yeah.
You know, bro, like that's out of our control.
Yeah.
You know, but again, you waste so many years of your life in this entitlement energy that you destroy yourself. People die at 30 and don't get buried till they're 80 and spend 50 years decomposing, dog.
That's so true, man. I feel like I barely started to live.
That's great. That's beautiful, bro.
And it's a reality check, you know, and hearing you speak right now, I'm like, man, I was actually probably like a Skeletor, you know, like a skeleton.
We both were.
You know?
We both were, bro.
And it's a blessing actually to know that it's just not one person. It's a tribe that's trying to make somebody better, you know?
1,000,000%.
And that's the honor in this conversation.
And I commend you and I congratulate you on that. The moment that I shook your hand, I felt the beautiful energy. You know, I felt the growth. I felt evolution. I felt purity. I felt accountability. I felt the oxymoron, raw and pureness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. That's dope. You know what I mean? And you should always be proud of that.
Oh, brother. Si te puedo decir, carnal, a veces, like, you know, when I see you, I'm like, oh, it's just a little one, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I get, like, real excited, man, and it's surreal sometimes, you know? And I was sitting there at the park, and I was like, I put that song, I'm Sorry.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I was a big drinker, and Jordan was like, man, you're trying to hide it, but you're smelling like mouthwash, you know?
Yeah.
I thought I hit it so good, but I was only lying to myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's how it works. All we do is lie to ourselves. I always say, bro, like, when you start believing your own bull crap, bro, like, it's all bad.
Right?
It's all bad.
You're over here, you're keeping tally. You're like, man.
Bro, I used to, like, same. I used to tell my kids, my older ones, you know, hey, like, yeah, I'm not drinking. You know, I would go sneak away and, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'd buy all kinds of gum and I would look for the vodka that didn't have the scent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not drinking. You know what I mean? Bro, that's horrible. You know, and the thing is this also. God always plants seeds for you. And he gives you the tools to either engage or abandon. Check this out. When I was, you know, once in a decade, all of that, my friend Fred Sotelo, shout out to Fred Sotelo, he used to always tell me, read the 4 agreements.
Ooh.
Read the 4 agreements. He said, a book will change your life. Now, you got to remember, at that time, I'm a barbaric conquistador. So I'm like, how is a book going to change my life?
Yeah.
Are you a moron? I used to talk to him like that. Right? I always tell him the story when I see him.
Yeah.
Fast forward when my life was like upside down.
Yes.
I had albums out. I didn't have anything. I had ruined everything. I had so much inner poverty that no matter where I went, it would follow me. I went and I got the book. I sat down and I read it. But I read it with all my heart. I read it with no chatter. I read it with accountability. I read it with courage. By the time that I was done with the book, the person that picked up the book had dissolved. Because I was ready. I was ready to live by those agreements.
Great book.
And when I went from there, I went to the power of now, to the untethered soul, to inner engineering, to the seat of the soul, to deep liberation, to book after book after book. And that's how I just started evolving, because I was sincere to the teachings that were being taught to me. James Allen, As a Man Thinketh, all these books.
That book right there.
All these books.
That book is powerful.
All those books were teaching me the way of life. You know, no one is demanding anything from you.
No.
They're teaching you.
Yes.
If you can't be teachable, you're doomed.
You have to be a student at all times.
You have to be a student at all times of the conscious evolution of the soul.
Man, you know what's funny? We're at the gym, and this guy had the 5 languages of love, and I said, you got to read this book. And I was talking about the 4 agreements.
Yeah.
That book right there will change your life if you put your heart into it.
1,000,000%. Here's a crazy story on how God always rewards you, bro. So years after I read it, Don Jose Ruiz sends me a message. Don Miguel Ruiz's son. We start talking. I invite him to a podcast that I had started called The Telescope Room.
Yeah.
So he comes and then we talk. I'm like, man, I really want to meet your dad. I want to tell him the story. We do the podcast. We stay in touch. A few months later, he sends me a message. He's like, hey, my dad's going to be at at a book fair in Los Angeles. Come by. So me and my daughter go over there. When Don Miguel Ruiz is done speaking, he takes me to the back. And he tells him, like, hey, this is my friend. He already knew.
Yeah.
So I hugged him, and I couldn't let go, bro. He told everybody that was there to see him, give me 1 minute. He sat down with me, bro, and he talked to me for 40 minutes about my entire story, bro. And he listened and all of that. Fast forward. The other day, I go to see the venue where I'm going to do the Chicano Music Festival in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And it's the same venue where I met Don Miguel Ruiz.
What?
So this is what the 4 agreements has done. Well, this is what God has done.
Yeah.
But that's how he laid it out to me. And you know what? You know how he did it? By being able to eliminate the misconception of time and letting things happen the way that they're supposed to happen. Without a date on the calendar, without why not, without why not me, why not when, how. Hey, just flow. Just flow. Expectancy determines outcomes. Oh. When you're not attached to the outcome is guaranteed. Think of how many times you demanded, I want this, and it wouldn't come. When you moved on with your life, it came.
Yeah.
That's because you were detached from the expectancy. And that's how life works.
That's real wealth right there.
That's real wealth.
That's real wealth.
That's real
You know,
wealth.
People, you throw the coin in the air, you're like, man, ojalá caiga la cabeza, ¿verdad? You're just like, oh, no, tails. Because we depend on that coin so much.
That's right.
That's why we throw it in there so many times.
So when you throw it, you're like, it doesn't matter how it lands.
It ain't going to land your way.
It ain't going to land.
You know, that's the beauty of it.
That's the beauty, bro.
Man, and man, I'm so grateful for that. You know what I do now that I practice? I just started practicing. I wake up my day. I give my thanks. And sometimes, it gets a little hard. But at nighttime, I let go of any garbage that I went through during the day, and I leave it there. Because before I used to bring the garbage with me the next day, and my trash can was just getting full.
Yeah.
I was just unleashing these demons on people that had nothing to do with my life.
Right.
And then now nobody wants to be around you, and then you ask yourself, why?
Yeah. Because
I wasn't being free.
Yeah, and that's a great point that you make. So I can honestly tell you, like, there's no garbage, because I stay away from striking distance. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't go to clubs, I don't party, I don't, I protect my galaxy. So if I see you and I'm an astronaut and you're an astronaut, we're both going to know without saying anything what it took to get to that space. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, yeah, all day.
We're going to know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to respect you.
Yeah.
I'm going to know, like, okay, he's an astronaut, right? So because we come from where we come from and we've experienced what we've experienced, we know better.
Yes.
So if we know better, we should always do better. I don't engage in anything that's going to be a threat to my evolution, ever. It doesn't matter what it is. But I've learned that through being sincere to my growth, because my growth won't allow me to even entertain the idea of experiencing something that I know has imminent danger or impending doom. I don't entertain it. I don't desire it. I don't think about it for 1 second. Like you, I have a regular program that I do every day. I wake up, I give my thanks, I shower, I do literature, I go to the gym, I go to do my walk, I go to the sauna, I come home, I eat, I shower, and then I start my day. I start my day because by the time that I do that, I already fed my mind, my body, and my spirit. And I have categories in my mind, and I know where everyone belongs.
Ooh.
I don't confuse that. Because if I confuse that, I go right back to lying to myself. I go right back to deceiving my own energy, deceiving my own growth, because I'm putting somebody or something where it doesn't belong. And that's not their fault. That'd be my fault.
Because you chose.
Because you're choosing to do that. So if you're able to stabilize that and honor that, the rest takes care of itself.
I love how you said, I stay striking distance, away from striking distance. How do you say it?
Yeah, striking distance.
And I'm just like, that's a good way to put it. I don't go to bars. I'm working on my sobriety. And it's, till then, I still didn't go to bars because I know so many things can happen and I know who I am.
Right.
And now it's like, dude, it doesn't take much to just pay no mind to stupidity.
1,000,000%. It's your choice.
It's
your choice.
Exactly.
But you got to remember, like, bro, I was always at the principal's office when I was going to school.
Yeah.
Because I would always say, like, I mean, how do I know that what I'm reading in this history book is a fact?
Yeah.
Oh, blah, blah, blah. I would be like, it's only a fact that we register data.
Yeah.
But it's not a fact that what we register is a fact.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So, a lot of things, the word lie is in the word believe. You know what I'm saying? So I would always make sure that I felt emotionally aligned where I was present. Because if I didn't, then I felt I'm at striking distance.
Yes.
And especially in leadership positions, teachers, people that take advantage of their leadership position. There's a people called leaders that are not leaders.
By far.
They abuse the power. They manipulate, especially young minds.
Yes.
That's why when I do the Chicano Music Festival, my objective for the festival is to bring us together.
Unity,
not division. Every neighborhood in San Diego goes to that festival and there's never no issues because everybody's on the same page from the same book and the same energy. It's about mutualism and togetherness and symbiotic energy and celebrating the culture. A 360 telescopic view of the culture, mariachis, Aztec dancers, lolos, poetry, hip-hop, oldies, food, and being able to celebrate together with no attachments of destructive energy.
And that's the point, man. I'm always saying, united we stand. I always felt like as a leader, as a man, my morals to lead were always good. My heart was never corrupted by, can I get a little bit more? Because it's not about me, it's about our village.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of people nowadays say they're for the village, and they just say, what could they take from the village?
1,000,000%. You're absolutely right. There's a lot of people that post. There's a lot of people that recite. There's a lot of people. When it's all said and done, there's more said than done.
Yeah. La neta.
That's real.
And that's what I'm always saying, blessings. And it's a blessing, man, because you're educating. That's the whole point of this podcast. I want people to be educated, to pick up knowledge, to be in the same frequency we are in right now.
Right.
Because sometimes they might not see it, but they can hear it now and see it.
Right.
Because where they're at right now, they might need the frequency we're in.
Like
how are they doing it?
Yeah, and it's good that there's people that look like us.
Exactly.
That's important. When I go to the news and new like when CBS or NBC's they would send an email like, we want to interview the Chicano Music Festival. Can you send someone? I'm like, yeah, I'll be there, right? So when they walk in, they're like, oh, damn, like it's in. But once we start talking, everything changes. When they first see me, they feel they may be in striking distance.
Yeah.
Once we start talking, they feel safe.
Yes.
So think of that. Like, think of the power of that. Think of the magnitude of the subliminal hypocrisy in that.
Yeah.
Like people, are on edge.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I want to be near you.
Yeah.
I see the ink, I see this, and then it's like, hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
it's okay. Like, we're all good. Everyone's laughing and clapping by the time you leave.
Yeah.
And then you leave. Even that right there is transformational, because when you leave, they say, hey, maybe I was wrong for that. Maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. That was good energy.
Yep.
He actually taught me something while I was here.
Yes.
And that's how we make everything better.
And that's the point.
That's the point, bro.
Man, and please let us know what you got going on with the festival, your schedule, what you're looking like. You're working on something new.
Yeah, I mean, I have a little bit of everything going on. I just wrapped up the year with the festivals. I did the Chicano Music Festival in San Diego. I did it in Las Vegas this year.
Yeah.
And I did the Oldies Forever tours as well. So we just wrapped up at the Hard Rock Cafe in Las Vegas. So next year on Valentine's Day, I'm doing the Ventura Theater, the Oldies Forever.
Yeah.
And then in June, I'm doing the Chicano Music Festival in Los Angeles at the Plaza de Cultura and Arts. And then after that, we're going to do a whole 20-city tour of the Oldie Show.
Yeah.
And my new album will be coming out. And I'm also doing a documentary called Once in a Decade of my life. Yeah, so that's going to be pretty cool.
You're busy.
Yeah, I'm engaged in what's meaningful. Yeah.
And your new album, is it balanced, past, present?
It's everything. You know, I've learned how to remain, you know, Mr. Little One from an artistic point and still be in my journey, and not have to say or use the narratives that I did in 1998. So someone can say, I'm going to buy that album because of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because then that would be me lying to myself.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to create my art with everything that I've been through, but be able to project it with what I've been through. You know what I mean? So the message is different, but it's still powerful. Yeah.
It's the evolution.
It's the evolution, bro.
And that's something that I feel like this community lacks. They're scared of evolution.
Yeah. So that's why we're here, though.
Exactly.
That's why we're here. You know, I'm not, my narrative will never change. Never, no matter what. I will always sit here and say what I'm saying because I believe that. I do it with all my heart. No, I'm not influenced by anybody, none of that. Like, I've learned to really come from a place of just authenticity and be able to understand what love is and what love is not, and not cheat myself anywhere in between.
Woo!
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Man, so many powerful messages, man. I'm like a little dumbfounded, you know, like, dude, en serio, I'm like, because I'm learning, carnal. I'm really learning, and I used to read a lot. And now that when I hear somebody like you speak about it, I'm like, okay, I read about this. Why have I never applied it? Now, at my age and through all the little stuff I've been through, I'm applying it. And like the other day, I walked this 7-Eleven, right? And I had a Tylenol. And I walked in, and I'm like, I walked in 7-Eleven. I was going to go buy a energy drink. And some lady goes, it's too early for that. You know what I mean? And I was like, what? She goes, it's too early for that. Why are you so happy in the morning? It was like 6 in the morning. Right. I'm walking. Yeah. I said, why not? I said, you need something? I'll buy you something. Yeah. I said, you're too happy in the morning. I said, you know what? And I told her, because my life has been in this miserable hole, and I was tired of being that miserable hole.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, but if you need a hug, I'll give you a hug. And she was like, se me quedó mirando como.
You gotta remember, like, who tells her that?
Nobody.
Nobody, bro. You know, she's not gonna forget that. She's gonna go back and be like, this guy offered me a hug, and he was so happy, and he was buying an energy drink at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, because I walked in like, she was like, it's too early for shit. I was like, what? She said, it's too early for this shit. I was like, dude, be happy.
You know, dog, I would encourage you, bro, like, to get back to your reading.
Yeah.
You're a smart guy, bro. You're a powerful guy. You know, grab all the tools, bro. Grab all the tools, bro. Armor yourself.
Viejito, ahí tengo todos los libros. Tengo Thick Face, Black Heart, The Book of Healing, the 33 Strategies, The Prince. I have The Prince.
Prince is a great book.
Come on, man. Nicole Machiavelli is one of my favorite authors, man.
Yeah, like, you got to remember, like, marry the books. That's what I do. That's what I call it.
I like that.
I marry the book. I create a loving relationship with the books and the teachings, because then they become sacred. And now, when you're good privately, will always show publicly without you having to say anything. Ever. You just walk in the energy, bro, of your healing, of being a student, of having respect, you know, bro. And if you the world's always gonna give you what you give yourself.
That's the book of 5 rings.
Bro, you can't manipulate
Come on,
growth.
dog.
You can't manipulate growth. You can't lie.
No.
None. It's always watching. Like, okay, that's what you want. That's what you get.
For real.
That's what it is, bro.
Man.
It's like people want more but don't want to do more.
For real.
I want more of this, but don't. So what are you doing about it?
And you know, a book does hit different when you read it instead of listening. Like,
I always, when people tell me, oh, I got the audiobook, I'm like, nah, that's a whole different situation. You know, when you sit down with a book, you create a relationship with the book.
yeah,
You know, every book that I have, I create a relationship with it.
Yeah.
So I hold it close to me.
Yeah.
I literally look at the books like masters and teachers.
They are.
So when I sit in my living room, I have them in front of me. I'm like, I'm your student. I'm right here. I'm solid.
you know what the book is? It's your katana.
Yeah,
It's
bro.
your sword, dog.
That's right. You know, James Allen talks about the sword. He talks about one of the greatest sins in the world, bro, is when you abandon the integrity of you being responsible for your delusion. So there's always a sword. When you abandon that, the sword cuts itself and lands on you.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true.
Because you're not being teachable when you know you can.
Amen. Amen.
You're not
Amen.
using the tools that God has given you to be better, to operate from a place of betterness and love. You know, people, people are afraid. People look like, oh, that fool started. Who says that? What person in purpose? What person in alignment? What person living in a joyous energy will ever have something negative about seeing someone else doing something positive?
Come on, dog.
Ask yourself that.
Yeah.
The next time somebody says something, that's an unconscious human.
For real.
That's it. Bro, it doesn't bother me like that person's got issues.
It's empty.
Empty.
You can throw that. There's nothing in it.
Empty. That's why when you think about garbage, that's what you have to think about. And not that I'm calling a person garbage, but I'm saying if their energy, if their train of thought, if the way they move, if what they have to say is nothing positive, when they're seeing something positive, then bro, that says more about them than it does about you.
Yeah, for real. For real.
So to carry that would be a waste of life and a waste of time.
Yes, sir. Man, today's podcast is full of beef, full of knowledge. I call beef a steak, knowledge, educational. And it's for me, it's growth.
Yeah.
And I hope everybody today picked up as much as you can, because I know I'm still dissecting. And is there anything you'd like to say, leave this podcast with? Where can people get a hold of you? What you're doing, where they can find you? And if there's one last thing you could tell somebody just from your heart, what would you say?
I would say wisdom has always taught me that I don't know nothing. Love has always showed me that I'm everything. And in between both of those, my life flows.
Thank you so much, carnal.
Thank you for having me.
Te agradezco de todo corazón.
Oh, no, it's all love, hermano. And, you know, I would encourage anybody out there, stay on your growth, stay away from striking distance, and have respect for the teachings. You take care of that, everything else will take care of itself.
Blessings, blessings, blessings. Thank you again. Thank you again. Tinman Podcast. I'm so excited. Thank you. Saludos.